An education chief in Indonesia wants to do virginity tests on school-age girls to ensure that they're not involved in promiscuous behavior, and if they don't pass, well, they don't get to go on to the next grade. Now, I did a little more research into this to figure out exactly how these virginity tests would take place, and they would literally have their hymens examined by a doctor, and it makes me sick to my stomach because I consider this sexual assault. Forcing girls to go to a doctor to get their hymen checked out so they can pass a virginity test is pathetic and it's sick. Now, similar legislation has been proposed before, but because of a public outcry, nothing happened. They didn't go through with it, and I hope that that will be the case in this particular situation. But what the hell? Like, first of all, the boys aren't getting virginity tests. You know why? Because virginity tests don't make any freaking sense. Just because a girl doesn't have a hymen doesn't mean that she's been sexually active. And then what happens if this girl was raped or molested or something like that? That all of a sudden you're not going to let her carry on with her education because you consider her promiscuous?
In Indonesia, there's a lot of reported cases, especially in the rural areas, which catch up a little bit later, unfortunately, with modern day and what's happening. If a bride does not bleed on her first night, they return her to her family. And
it's not just Indonesia. There are a number of countries that do something similar. And yeah, I know that it doesn't happen in Armenia anymore, but back in the day, it was very similar. After the wedding night, the man would have to show like a bloody rag to the parents to like say, yeah, she was clean, she was pure. Disgusting, disgusting.
Yeah.
Like as if that's the only thing a woman is valuable for her hymen.
Right, let alone the honor killings in Turkey, and then the list goes on and on. Here, the Mohammed Rashid, who's a chief of education agency, God help them, in Indonesia, in that city in Indonesia, says that this was done as a response to the high rate of adultery and prostitution among female students. God knows what he means by prostitution, whether it's real or what he, refers to as prostitution for simply having sex. And he also went on to say, whether a woman wants to stay a virgin or not, that's part of her rights as a woman. But on the other side, we don't want the female students to plunge into negative acts. So, okay.
There's something very creepy about an education chief, a male education chief sitting around thinking about the promiscuity of school-age kids. It's disgusting.
I always question it, whether it's guys who are so against gay rights here in America or, fundamentalists in other parts of the world. When they're so fascinated by a certain topic, you begin to wonder, again, the doctors would be doing the checks, not the education minister, but why is, we hope and presume, but why is he so obsessed with like, oh, we gotta check their hymens, etc. And the double standard, I know guys don't have hymens, we get that, right? But at the same time, nobody's even bothering asking. Like one thing you could do is you could do a polygraph test, if you care that much. You'd be like, all right, did you lose your virginity or not? And by the way, if you care so much about religion, it's also in all of these religions that you're not supposed to masturbate. You want to make sure that those people don't move on to the next grade level? Probably not, because there might not be a single student left in Indonesia.